Hello, welcome to the Wolf Den. I'm the Wolf,
I'm Daddy O.
and we look forward to howling with you today.
Don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, get the notification bell, and all that kind of stuff that you're supposed to do with these things here. And if you comment on today's episode, we'll give you a shout out next week.
That's right. So today we're going to talk about Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, Zombieland Double Tap, and
Guardians
Guardians 2.
2, because we're still trying to catch up on our
Yeah,
Marvel.
right.
We've seen the movies, we just haven't recorded one of these
Yeah,
episodes.
we haven't talked about them. So let's go ahead and start with Joker. Now, I want to preface this. The trailer for Joker did, at least the one I saw, did not do the movie justice. In fact, when I saw the trailer, I had very little interest in seeing the movie. In fact, I think my exact comment was, it looks like somebody who doesn't know what the Joker is about and just thought they could make a Joker movie. And then outside influence, people that I know telling me that it was a good movie. The YouTube channel Cinema Sins, where they everything wrong with, and in this case, it was everything wrong with the Joker. And actually seeing some of the footage changed my mind, and I was like, oh, okay, that does look interesting.
The trailer, the general release trailer that I saw, it made me want to see it. It was just like, what in the heck is going on? This is going to be dark. I
Hmm.
was up for it, just we never got around to seeing it. But through the magic of subscription television,
Yeah,
we just watched it a couple nights ago,
yeah, Friday or Saturday.
and it was freaking awesome.
Yeah, it was really good. Again, the trailer that I saw didn't do it justice. I really liked it. Now, for the life of me, I can't think of anything that Joaquin Phoenix has done that I've seen him in. I don't know why.
When he played Johnny Cash.
Yeah. Okay, that's been a while though.
Well, you said anything.
That's true.
I mean, I don't know a lot of his movies either. That one he did where him and Wahlberg were brothers, and one was a cop and one was a criminal.
Um,
Something Dark of Night or something like
that
that.
sounds vaguely familiar.
I saw that one.
But anyways, regardless, not really for me at least. I can't pinpoint something that I've seen Joaquin in before. I thought he did really, really good. The scenes where he was shirtless and we're like looking at his body was difficult for me. I don't know about for you, but for me that was kind of hard to watch. Like there's
He
that.
was skinny.
Yeah, he was skinny. Well, there was like that one scene where he's sitting on his couch and he stretches and you could just see his whole
His rib
rib
cage
cage.
and everything.
Oh, I don't. That freaked me out a little
A
bit.
lot of actors will either gain or lose weight
Mhm.
for a role, so he
Yeah,
really wanted. He's one of those guys. He's like Andy Kaufman. He really gets into the
character.
the character, the physical aspects of the character as well as the
Hmm.
mental. And that's something I wanted to bring up. Is this was Andy Kaufman level freaking portrayal on this
Hmm.
movie. My goodness, this movie was just blew my mind. And then the little bits of information that they teased every 15, 20 minutes or so made you go, oh wow, if that's true, that changes
Right.
your perspective on everything.
Hmm.
Especially when it looked like, and we're not gonna, this won't be spoilers because,
Oh, there's not going to be spoilers.
well, I mean, I'm gonna say something, but I don't think it's a spoiler because I think everybody that's seen the movie has seen it.
Right.
If you haven't seen it, then skip whatever I'm about to say. But the information that he possibly was Bruce Wayne's brother, half brother,
Brother.
holy schmackles, that just blew our mind.
Yeah, I thought that was really really interesting. I don't know if I don't know if I heard people saying they had problems with it. Although I was trying to avoid spoilers, even though I didn't really want to see the movie. Um, Yeah, I don't know if I heard anybody talking about that, but to me, that's fine.
That would have been a cool dynamic in the story, in the
Right.
mythos.
I mean, especially when you hear people talk about Batman and Joker, is that they're two sides of the same coin, and to really drive that home of them being half brothers,
Yeah, that would
that
have
would have
been
been
well. And then you
intense.
think about what Heath Ledger's Joker said in Dark Knight. He said, "I'm not going to kill you because you and I are
We're just
destined
into
to do
do
this
this,
forever."
right?
So
You'll be in a padded cell forever. Maybe we can share one. Anyways.
but the fact that they, oh man, that was just
Yeah.
everything about this movie. De Niro,
De
yeah,
Niro's like a great
actually,
actor,
it could have been
but
anybody.
yeah, like De Niro's a great actor, don't get us wrong, but the late night comedy host just didn't like the movie is about a mentally ill man who breaks down and starts murdering people because he enjoys it. Robert De Niro playing a late night host was the most unbelievable thing about that movie.
Oh, I wouldn't say it was unbelievable,
Yeah,
but it
I
was just
would.
like it could have been anybody. To me,
Right.
it could have been anybody hosting it. They could have got like somebody like Conan O'Brien or something.
Yeah.
Also, that part of it, but that part of it, it was like, well, wait a minute. You know, he just confessed. If Arthur just confessed to his crimes, why wasn't anybody backstage, including Mark Maron, who played the producer?
Sure.
Why weren't they on the phone to the cops?
Well, I mean they were because I mean if you look,
No.
the next scene is Arthur's in the police cruiser.
Yeah, but that's after like all the mass chaos, all the riot that happens, and he's
Hmm.
still sitting in the chair.
That's true.
Why didn't they show off camera Mark Maron picking up the phone and saying this guy just confessed to those crimes and he's here now? You know, come help us. But
Hmm.
whatever.
I
But
don't know.
still, overall, as far as dark psychology goes, man, that was a good movie. Man, it
I
was good.
I don't I heard the rumor that I heard, and I mean it might is probably true, is that it was Joaquin's idea for the Joker's laugh to come from that disorder that just
That
causes you to
condition.
the condition that just causes you to randomly and uncontrollably laugh. I thought that was a cool idea. I do like it that to me I would prefer that the Joker's laughing at his own poor jokes. But I mean, grounded in realism, kind of like what not Christian Bale, who's the actor, uh, Nolan, what he was doing with his Batman movies is they were supposed to be more realistic, more grounded in realism. And so for the Joker to have a disorder that just causes him to randomly laugh, I thought that was really cool.
That was good. And also, my cousin Wes on Facebook said that Joaquin nailed the role, but in the end, another failed Joker. Shake my head. What do you think?
I don't know. Like,
So I
I
don't know what he had against it. He,
well, so if he was saying another failed Joker, then I'm sure he's pointing to oh, come on, what's his name? He was in Suicide Squad, and he's also playing
oh,
Morbius.
um, Jared Leto.
Jared Leto, yeah. A lot of people didn't like Jared Leto, so I'm guessing that's what he means by failed Joker or
Well, he
another
said
failed Joker.
another, so I don't know how many he doesn't like.
That's true, but
Because
that's
my
weird.
favorite is, I mean, I've judged them on the way they were portrayed against, not against Cesar Romero, but against Joker, its legend itself. My favorite's going to be Jack Nicholson.
Right.
He was so random and so he was just randomly psychotic
Mm-hmm.
when he's talking to his henchmen, when he's talking to what's her name, uh,
Vicky Vale.
Vicky Vale, when he was talking to anybody, he would
Mm-hmm.
just randomly say weird stuff. When he's fighting with Batman and he puts on the glasses,
Yeah, you wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you?
he was wonderfully. He was a he was reveling in his psychoticness, and it was
Mm-hmm.
still so random. I love when he says that poem to Vicky,
Dude, I could not tell
and
you
he
what the
talks about
poem
take
is.
the beak out of my heart or whatever, and then he
Mhm.
just turns and goes, you know.
Yeah.
He is the best Joker. I don't care what y'all say. You can fight me. I don't care. Heath Ledger did a great job for what he was doing,
Mm-hmm.
and Jared Leto, I didn't one way or the other because he wasn't in the damn movies long enough.
I know that was the thing. I saw an interview where people asked him like, "Oh, did you enjoy like your Joker scenes in the movie?" And his response was like, "Oh, there were Joker scenes in the movie."
Yeah,
Because what, according to Leto, is that they shot so much of
yeah,
him and Harley that it could have just been their own movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then
So
that was supposed to happen too, and instead we just got a Harley movie. So I don't know what's going on with
yeah.
that.
Well, Jared Leto is playing Michael Morbius. Oh, and I am excited for that. I've watched that trailer like 20
And
times.
then,
But Joker.
okay, so we did Joker. Now let's go to
Oh, I did want to talk about one other thing.
what's that?
It's even though most of the time you don't actually know the Joker's real name. In the what was it, 89?
Mm-hmm.
89 Batman film. His name, they call him Jack.
It's Jack Napier,
Jack Napier. Yeah. In the
which is a nod to the original series because one of the producers' name was Alan Napier,
yeah.
I think, or he might have been the guy that played Alfred. I can't remember
In
which.
the 90s cartoon Batman the Animated Series, excuse me, his name is Jack Napier as well. You see, like, there's just a shot. I think it's Commissioner Gordon. He's looking through a file, and it says Joker, aka Jack Napier.
Mhm.
So, and it's common, or it's widely agreed upon that if he does have a name, his name is Jack Napier. So why they changed it to Arthur Fleck, I don't understand. But I mean, there's the other part where Joker has said in the comics that if I have a past, I prefer it to be multiple choice. So his name can be anything. And
Well, then, okay, did Heath Ledger's Joker have a name?
no, his no other known aliases.
Okay, and then also let's go with did Leto's, well, it wasn't in
I
it long
don't
enough.
know. They just called him
But I was
Joker.
just okay. I'm thinking of the Gotham versions,
But that was Jerome and
Jerome and Jeremiah Valeska,
yeah,
which was. But notice they all start with J.
Jay, yeah, except for Arthur.
Well, yeah, and so that was cool though.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. So it was a great film. I'm glad that I actually watched it. And maybe I shouldn't judge things by the trailer so harshly.
Okay, let's go to
Zombieland.
Zombieland Double Tap. Did you like it?
I did. I quite enjoy the first movie. This is how much I like the first movie. I own it on Blu-ray, right? No, well, a lot of people own it. Yeah, yeah. I own it on Blu-ray, so it's sitting in my room. I was scrolling through Netflix and I saw Zombieland on Netflix and I hit play and I watched it. Like, if I wanted to watch Zombieland, I just had to
Well,
put the DVD in my in.
that's like me in Roadhouse. It was on yesterday.
Yeah.
I own it, and it was on yesterday. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'll just leave it on while I'm doing whatever I'm doing.
That's right. So, but Double Tap, I liked. I had maybe only one problem with it. And this one I'll have to get a little bit spoilery, but sorry.
How long ago did it come out?
Last year.
Yeah.
So, the relationship dynamic between Tallahassee and Little Rock. To me, it seemed natural that he would become like a father figure for Little Rock. And she would just be, I mean, even though like she grew up with her sister, Wichita. Um, and like, oh, it's always us. But I mean, at the end of the movie, they basically, at the end of the first movie, they like warm up to being a family, and even Columbus's narration is that we're, this is the family, my family, and with the revelation in the first movie that Tallahassee lost his son to zombies, to me that set up, yeah, him being like a father figure to Little Rock, and him basically now having a surrogate daughter after losing his real zombie, or his real son
His
to
real zombie.
his real son to zombies. But in Double Tap, she was like rebuffing him, and
Yeah, but it
was like overly.
Yeah, but the narration he even said she's a teenager now.
Mhm.
She's rebelling,
Oh, that's
and that
true.
happens.
Yeah.
And so to varying degrees depending on the person.
Hmm.
Uh, I liked it. I liked everything in it. I did have a problem at the end. Oh well, the other thing is it was called Double Tap for a reason, right?
Because that's his rule.
because one of his rules was that you
Shoot the zombie
shoot
twice.
and shoot him again. They didn't. They hardly did it. They did it maybe half the time.
The double tap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that, and then at the end when all the zombies are jumping off that high
Tower.
thing, okay, is that gonna kill their heads? You're supposed to kill the head,
It
right?
depends on how they fall. They're going head first.
Right, but
They
unless
could-
there's spikes down there, that ain't gonna do nothing.
Have you
And
fallen
then,
off a high building?
yes,
You could fall and like crack and die, and especially since their
yeah, but they're
skulls
already
are,
dead.
they're die again.
Plus, once there's a layer of them down, all the rest of them are just landing on top of each other. So that sure as hell ain't gonna
Oh,
kill their heads.
Well, that is a little bit more, but
They
yeah.
should have had some spikes down there.
The way that it was being narrated and almost, I don't want to say a natural conclusion, but it did feel that Tallahassee was going to die during that spot. And especially since the narration said, like, he made the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah,
And I was like, oh man, like, what a way for Tallahassee's character to, like, come
and
to
I was
an
like,
end.
oh wow, Woody Harrelson's gonna die. That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it was the two. It was, well, that's like a cool way. I
It's
don't
cool
want
that
to.
he said the sacrifice.
Yeah, he's willing to
works.
make that, and he's going to save all of these people, even the ones that he's admitted that he doesn't care, like he doesn't like.
But he does.
Yeah, but he does. He's willing to like die, and then to pull the rug and him grab the. Actually, I still didn't even think he was going to live, even when he grabbed the hook that he was holding onto. I was like, oh, okay, he's okay, he lived, and then I was like, okay, maybe the zombies are going to tackle him off, and that never happened. And then the cop and prisoner that were handcuffed together, I thought
zombies.
surely that was going to like hit him in the gut or something and
Knock him off.
knock him off. I mean, I'm glad that he didn't die, but I was fully expecting it. You know,
What do you think about the airhead? No, the one thing that
the
airhead girl.
Oh, the girl.
I can't remember what her name is, but
Man, we just watched another movie with a girl with an M name, so I'm thinking Melissa, but that's not
I have no
Mandy.
idea. I have no idea.
I don't know.
But a lot of things, and I'll get back to what I was going to say about her was, even though Zombieland was good, there was so much stuff that you could call coming. You could see it a mile away what was going to happen.
The first one or Double Tap?
Double Tap. We just that's what we're talking about.
Right.
Just like the part when you thought she became an infected zombie,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh well, what if it's just an allergic reaction to something that she's eating? And that's what that was revealed like in the next scene. So movie was very easy to predict. Very easy to predict. Didn't predict Rosario Dawson living at the Hound Dog Hotel.
Yeah.
But she was a good character on there.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was funny when they brought it circle because it has been 10 years, and it makes. Although I mean, we see that there's other survivors, but how would they have gotten the story from the first movie of Columbus blowing a hole through Bill Murray? But I do like that they brought it back. That she said, "I almost Murray'd you."
And he's like, "What? What's that?"
Yeah, and I was like, "Well, some guy, shot Bill Murray thinking he was a zombie." Which, again, I don't know how that legend or that story gets spread when the only ones that were there were Little Rock, Wichita, Tallahassee, and Columbus, and it's something they didn't want to talk about, and then they left.
Bill, the next person that came in and saw it.
Yeah, well, they dumped his body off, I assume, into his backyard. I don't really know. They like gave him the 21 gun salute and then knocked him off or pushed him off his balcony or something. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how that story gets spread, but I thought it was funny that came back.
And the girl, the airhead girl, she lived in a freezer or a refrigerator for 4 years.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. What did you think of them, like Columbus proposing to Wichita, and then Wichita.
No.
Yeah, Little Rock is Abigail.
Oh, that's right.
Bresnan. What did you think about that? Like, he proposes, and then her and her sister split.
It made sense to me. That's kind of because, like in the first movie, every time you think they're all going to be together, they would steal their car and
Yeah,
leave them.
leave.
But and the thing is too is things like that do happen in the real world.
Hmm.
People you think are going to stay together, the one person just changes their mind and bails. I've seen it. So it didn't, it's like, okay, you get kind of tired of it. You're like, okay,
Hmm.
can't these two idiots figure out that they're better off
Together,
together than
right?
apart? So, but yeah, the whole movie was good.
Yeah, it was good.
There
No,
was
yeah,
what, 10 years between the movies?
yeah, 2009 and 2019.
Wow.
Um, I don't know. To me, it didn't need a sequel. Like it ended good, and it was a good film. Um, was I excited to see a sequel? Yeah, of
And then they
course.
left it open for another one
Yeah,
if they
for a
want.
third one
Oh, how about the one, the dig at the dig?
at Walking Dead,
Yeah,
where he's actually reading the Walking Dead comic book. Columbus.
horrifying, horrifying, but totally
Yeah,
unrealistic.
unrealistic.
He throws the comic.
Yeah. That's kind of funny. Why not poke fun at people? Because I mean, like this one was a little bit more tongue in cheek, I guess. Because
Hmm.
he starts the narration he starts was like, "Oh, thank you for choosing us to watch like
As
your
your entertainment.
entertainment." Yeah, because we know you have a lot of like zombie medium or something to choose from. So that's fine. Just a little bit more tongue in cheek. But yeah, it was good. I liked it a lot.
Okay. Oh,
Guardians too.
Guardians 2, which has been a while since we've seen it.
Yeah, I think I've seen it somewhat recently.
Kurt Russell was the villain Ego, the living
Planet,
planet.
yes.
Why not? Why not there be a living planet? Why not?
Yeah, it
So
was it
it
was
was cool.
interesting. Well, and the thing is, and I might be a little bit wrong here, and I'm sure somebody will tell me that I am, but I believe that in the comics, Ego the Living Planet and Star Lord's father are actually two different people, or two different characters, I should say. And Star Lord's father is is a king of a race of people, and he goes to Earth. He crash lands on Earth, and he falls in love with Star Lord's mom and everything. Um, well, I can't remember what his actual name is.
I don't know, but
Oh, Peter Quill. Anyways,
oh,
and
but you meant the father's name.
no, Peter Quill. And then so he falls in love with Quill's mom. They have a kid, but their house gets attacked by a race of evil aliens. And so Quill's father decides it's best for him to leave because the aliens will continue to come to Earth to try to kill the Quill family or, whatever. So he leaves, and that's why he leaves. And then, like, Quill's entire life is getting into space so that he can meet his father. And actually, he gets the Star Lord name in the comics, anyways, from his dad, where he tells him, like, oh, Quill, you're the prince of the race of people. I can't remember. He's like, you are their Star Lord, essentially, around there. So that's how he gets that name. Uh, and then Ego the Living Planet is just like a totally separate character that I know very little about.
Well, I read the comics a little bit back in the 80s, and so I know that they're not following the comics. They're
No,
taking bits and
in
pieces
pieces.
of different
Right.
stories and condensing them into the story that they want to tell. So the fact that Ego and his real father are two different people means nothing to me. So
Right.
it's like, but Kurt Russell did a great job. Kurt Russell's a good actor,
Mm-hmm.
one of our better actors that we have around that's still kicking. Um, and I was telling you that I've seen him as far back as being a child actor
Mm-hmm.
on TV shows, and he did a series of Disney movies when he was like, gosh, probably between the ages of 15 and 18, somewhere around there. He did some Disney movies that were comedies, and then you go on to uh, Tombstone. It was awesome.
Turn your head into a canoe.
He was
Yeah.
he's been Elvis a couple of different times. he's just done a lot of great work, and the fact that you see all these new actors that like everybody in that movie basically, and
Except Batista.
you don't know them, but they're your new stars. Chris Pratt's he's your new star and all that. But then you go back and they throw in somebody with a pedigree, which now they're starting to do all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Tilda Swinton, Renee Russell, all these other ones. They're showing up in the movies. They're getting, I'd say, legendary status actors and putting them in probably to get the older audience to go see it. But they're putting them in, and it helps. It helps the movie along to have somebody that's got weight as far as an actor. Kurt Russell did a great job as Ego.
Yeah.
Although it was when it revealed everything that was happening, I'm like, what? But it was still good. And you mentioned Batista. He's again steals this movie just like he stole the first one, which is really funny because we know him as a wrestler,
right?
And his wrestling character,
not that funny.
Well, not that he wasn't that funny, but he wasn't that good. He wasn't that good on the mic, and and his reactions and the situations that they put him in wasn't that good. And then we saw that first movie where he was God, he wasn't a cop. He was like a henchman for for a bad guy. Do you remember it? He wore that funny cap.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
And that movie was it's like, okay, he kind of impressed me, but it's like if he keeps going along and getting better, he's going to be good. And then boom, Hotel Artemis.
Oh, that was good too.
He's done a couple of other things. This spy comedy with the little kid that's coming out looks very funny.
Yeah.
And then his Drax is freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's freaking
both
awesome.
Guardians movies. Yeah. Now, Yondu's funeral, the Ravager funeral. That was
Mary Poppins, y'all.
Yeah, that was interesting. I don't know if you've noticed, but so they cremate Yondu, right? And I don't know, it's his space ashes, I guess. When they go out to space, they form an arrow.
I didn't notice that.
Oh yeah. So they do a shot where you can see the other Ravager ships, and it's from the inside of theirs, and you can see it creates an arrow. His little space ashes.
One thing is they also introduce a whole new group of characters with Stallone.
Right.
Are they making that a movie? I don't know who they are because I didn't follow the comics that closely. I have 2 or 3 issues.
They still haven't done anything with
it was Stallone, and then one of the other ones was like a little robot head that talked, which reminded me. It looked like oh gosh, on Buck Rogers' TV show. Buck Rogers' TV show, there was a Dr. Theopolis, and he had a medallion that he wore around his neck that was actually a robot head that spoke, but I don't remember the robot's name. Anybody of my age, my generation that remembers the old Buck Rogers TV show, see if you could comment what was that robot's name. And I'm not talking about the little guy, which was Tiki or something like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just the head robot that the guy wore as a pendant. Dr. Theopolis, I believe, wore it. And anyway, this thing in Guardians, whatever these guys are whatever this group is gonna be called, that's what it reminded me of. But it was Stallone, like 3 or 4 guys.
Yeah.
So are they introducing that either in the next movie or
as a series,
as their own spinoff?
That was
Marvel.
My ring,
you don't know.
That was my ring that hit the table. I don't know. What was it? They at the end of the first. At the end of the first one or the second one? It was the second one because that's where they had the gold people, the exalted, the high, the something. I know it's like something around that. But they introduced Adam Warlock at the end of that movie, or at least a character called Adam. Don't know if it was actually Adam Warlock, but I bet it is. but then he hasn't shown up at all.
Well, that's because he was in Guardians 2.
Yeah. Well,
So
I
apparently
mean,
he'll be in Guardians 3.
three, right? I mean, half the universe gets wiped out. They don't awaken this perfect being to go fight the guy who wiped out half the universe. Just kind of saying. But anyway, so um, I am. Yeah, I'm interested to see what comes of the Adam, assuming it's Adam Warlock. The movie itself was all right. I like the first one better. Although I don't really, I like the first one. I don't really like the Guardians movies that much. They're okay, you know. I don't think Marvel makes a bad film, at least in the MCU. I don't think there has been a particularly bad MCU movie. I've never laughed and be like, "Oh, that movie was horrible." I think they're all really good. It just depends on my enjoyment of the movie. Um, Guardians movies, fine. I get a laugh. I like the actors. I like the action. I like the story, but doesn't rank very high for me.
Hmm. Uh, was something I was going to say was we're talking about once you've signed the contract and you're making a Marvel film, you're forever known as being in the MCU.
Hmm.
I was just thinking John C. Riley is in the MCU.
Yeah. Yes, he is. He was in the. He was
He's in
in
both
the
of them.
film. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember where he was. Did they? Did they just cut to Xandar at some point? I don't. I like. I know he's there. I just don't remember like how he shows up or
Well, in the
like.
first one, it's him and Daniel Craig, isn't it?
Uh,
That are the cops
I don't think Daniel Craig.
that are
Well,
taking their
maybe.
mug shots. It looked like
Yeah,
Daniel Craig.
it might be. But then he's also on Xandar and everything. But in the second one,
He's there on, I guess it's Xandar. Is that where the people are that they're trying to protect?
well, in the first one, that whole last battle takes place on Xandar.
Dude, I don't know the planets.
That's fine.
The one he's there because he's like a captain of the guards or cops or whatever.
Yeah.
Because he's telling their leader
Hmm.
about what's going on or something. So he's in both of them.
Yeah. Um, I think I like Rocket. I like Bradley Cooper as Rocket. It is. It's weird that it's not his own voice, which is fine. I get actors do that, but it's like this is Bradley Cooper. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And
but
then
again, that could be that could have been anybody.
yeah, but then you go watch a movie with Bradley Cooper, and he's like not doing the Rocket voice, and you're like, oh yeah, that's how he sounds.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. It could have been anybody. Why it's Bradley Cooper, I don't know. It could have been anybody. Uh, Overall, though, both those movies are good. I like them. Um, yeah.
Yeah. Who's it? Yeah,
Okay,
that
so
was.
we talked about Joker. We talked about Zombieland, Double Tap. When we talked about Guardians 2 on our way to catching up, which I'm not sure what's next in the timeline, but we're gonna have to rewatch whatever we're gonna talk about
Yeah, that's fine.
because it's been too long.
Oh no, I have to rewatch Marvel movies. I feel
Ooh,
so.
bad.
Yeah, I don't know. In pain? I don't. That's fine.
Okay,
I'll
we'll
watch
talk
more.
about. Let's go on to wrestling.
AEW was Wednesday.
Last Wednesday's Dynamite, awesome show. They just keep getting. To me, they're consistently high level,
Mm-hmm.
better than what other wrestling product that's out there. Uh, we're on our way to the actually this weekend. Saturday is um, Double or Nothing, or yeah,
Yeah, Double or Nothing.
and which I was supposed to go to, but it got taken away from. Or is it All Out? All Out, All In. I don't know. You get these names, but anyway, yes, we're on our way to the tournament for the TNT title, which was, according to what I've heard, the network they had this thing called the TV title for years in different wrestling promotions, and those were small promotions that had Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon wrestling shows. And the idea was the TV title was defended on TV every week.
Mm-hmm.
One of the last, to me, one of the last well-known title holders in Impact when it was back when it was total nonstop action. Their TNA TV title was held by Devon Dudley,
Hmm.
and he did wrestle it every week for 3 or 4 weeks in a row before he lost it, and so that was cool. Uh, this is essentially a TV title, but the network TNT is going ahead and putting their name on the brand. They asked for another title
Mm-hmm.
specifically because they're right now you've got the tag titles and the world title, and
Mm-hmm.
in your single women's champ, they don't have a women's tag team belts yet.
No, not yet.
So you've got the women's world title, the men's world title, and the men's tag titles. So they added another title. You've got the TNT Championship belt, which is going to be presented by Mike Tyson. Did you hear about that?
No, but why?
Why not? It's going to get people to. He's got a fight coming up.
Oh,
He's
okay.
coming out of retirement, from what I hear, unless it was fake. It could have been fake, but I don't know. But it looks like they're going to do reunite him and Holyfield for another fight. I don't know. So they
Hmm.
got Tyson to present the belt. Now he's got a beard, and it's
Mm-hmm.
gray or white. He looks like actor. Oh, I thought you paused it.
Nope.
Oh, I can't think of the guy's name. He was on. Did you watch Cool? You watched Cool Kids with us a couple of times.
No.
He was a African American actor that used to come out on. God, he's been on so much stuff. And Living Color. I can't think of his name, but anyway, Tyson looks weird. He still got his eye tattoo,
Mm-hmm.
but he's got this white beard, and he's going to present the winner of the title. Now, you got Cody against Lance Archer.
Okay. I don't think Cody's gonna win. Well, maybe he might, because the whole thing, the reason he's not AEW champion is he made that deal is like, oh, if I lose, I'll never challenge for the title again. And then pretty much the reason he lost is because MJF threw in the towel and then betrayed him and turned heel and all of that. And then
Well,
now he's going for the.
and then the reality factor is that people get kind of pissed if basically he's an owner of the company and he gives himself the title right away. That's
Right.
kind of shady.
But like, I don't like Cody is a skilled wrestler. Like, I don't want to take anything away from Cody, but I don't think he's the proper person to beat Lance Archer.
It's
I
got to be somebody around Archer's got to be
see.
somebody around his
So,
size,
I mean, like Colt Cabana took him on, and like Colt Cabana got in the most offense that anybody's ever gotten,
except for Cody last week.
except for Cody last week. But I mean, even even Colt Cabana like picked him up and moved him into the corner. But Lance Archer still wasn't really phased by any of his attacks or anything like that. So I don't think Cody's like the best person to do it.
The problem I see when they create these guys as monsters and they make them unstoppable because they run through everybody on the roster, who's gonna be it, and they'll pick somebody that they're gonna go ahead and take the belt or whatever, take the undefeated streak, whatever you want to call it, and give it to this guy. It's like it's not somebody you believe.
Yeah, it's not believable. There was in WWE. This was a while ago. Um, Ryback was the United States champion, and Ryback, even though they were jobbers, would like wrestle two dudes at once, beat them, and then he would like go on and
Do the double Samoan drop.
yeah, and he's just a big, strong, fast. He's like Strowman, but like smaller, essentially. Um, and he did like that thing with Mark Henry where they were like bench pressing to see how much they can do, and like he was gonna beat Mark Henry, but then Mark Henry like put all his weight on the thing. And we're watching Ryback turn these dudes inside out every week. He's wrestling two dudes at once. Um, and then he gets beat by not Sin Cara, but the other guy. Or was it Sin? No, no. It was because they made the team. It was Sin Cara and what's his face.
Who?
It was the two lucha dudes. It was Sin Cara and the guy that does Selena del Sol. What's his name?
Uh, Kalisto.
Kalisto beat him for the United States title.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. And I think like the week before, he defeated the Big Show to retain his title, or somebody big like that. And then Kalisto beats Ryback with the Salina del Sol, and that's completely unbelievable.
And then so Lance Archer, I don't think Cody's the right guy to beat him, so we'll see. And I want to see. Just the thing is when they get these big guys and they make them unstoppable. Let's put them in the ring together. They act like they don't know who the other. It's like they don't know each other. Like they're sharing the same locker room. Come on, we know this. So how come you can't put? Let's get a feud between Lance Archer and Brody Lee.
Right, those two dudes.
I'd even argue Preston Vance or 10 that he's called right now. I think 10 would be a good dude to go against Lance Archer in his way to get to Brody Lee.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's get these big dudes together and let them dance, man. That's got to be TV right there.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, when Brock Lesnar suplexed Strowman, and then Strowman just rolled out of it, got right back up, and credit to Brock for selling that when he looked at him. That was great. That was a great moment.
And I'll go back in history. Kurt Angle and Lesnar. It's a good match. Big Show and Lesnar where the ring collapsed. That makes sense.
Right.
If it would have collapsed because he was wrestling Mysterio, I would have shut the damn TV off.
Right.
So, but moving back into AEW, the storyline with Darby Allin, refusing to take help from Taz.
Well, and not only did he refuse the help from Taz, he just kind of fired back because Taz was like getting technical, where he's like, "Yeah,
you would have done this move."
Taz said,
"Basic this that."
Right? Taz is like, "He did this, and you could have done that." And Darby Allin's like, "No, I know what he did. I know what it's called. I am good at wrestling."
And then he walked off. Which is cool for Taz because becoming more of an on-screen character as far as just being a commentator with his Taz's takedowns, where he like breaks down the moves, which I really like that. Yeah. That's cool because these guys working over there, some people, they're just old WWE guys. Well, before they were WWE guys, they were ECW guys and WCW. So, calling them old WWE guys is stupid, but these guys have such a wealth of knowledge that they can give to these young guys that are signed on the roster to AEW. Such good. Just like, okay, well, we know him as he just got released. Well, he didn't he didn't renew his contract, Drew Gulak.
Yeah.
Joey Janela said there would be no Joey Janela without Drew Gulak because that's who trained him. So, will he end up over there on their roster? I don't know. But all the guys that they have, they've got Tully Blanchard, they've got Arn Anderson, they've got Taz, Jake Roberts, Diamond Dallas Page is working with them backstage on a limited capacity. All these guys, which were great stars in the 80s and 90s, are giving this information to these young guys. Oh, it just blows my mind that this is going to be, they're going to be around. They're not going to be a flash in the pan. And they are going to be around because they've got such good people, such good industry people working there. It's going to be awesome to just watch it grow. I'm really excited to keep watching it, and they already got an extra 4 years. So boom, 5 years solid.
Oh, Matt Hardy's over there too.
Yeah, Matt Hardy
killing. What's with them and killing Sammy Guevara every week? Like I like Sammy Guevara. He's a good wrestler.
He's a heel, and
I like
he's
his
a
character.
cocky young kid.
But like he got run over 2 weeks ago
by the golf cart.
And then I don't remember how many weeks ago it was, but like somebody super kicked him. Matt Jackson super kicked him into oblivion, and like he rolled his ankle. But like on screen, it just looked like he died. I'm like,
well, it also looked really bad. And then in his vlog, Sammy, he legit rolled his ankle.
Yeah,
he was wrapped it, and he had ice and everything in the hotel room. By the way, that too, the new mediums of vlogging,
Hmm.
webisodes, whatever that they're doing with social media. Those guys are doing it right.
Yeah.
The now the over in the WWE, the only guy that really did that was Zack Ryder.
Hey, Zack Ryder's great
Got
too.
himself over as the internet champion,
Hmm.
and that caught their attention. But then they took over the production of his internet show, and it went
Yeah, well, that happens a lot when WWE takes over things. But
broken universe.
I mean, like Sammy Guevara got. I mean, like credit to him that I don't know if he wants to do it, but I mean, allowing him to be like, in this part of the match, Matt Hardy's gonna hit you with a golf cart or whatever it was. Oh yeah, okay, I guess and they just like he showed it too in slow motion. And
Yeah,
it's just like,
he caught his face caught the windshield,
yeah, man,
and his elbow or his forearm took the brunt of the hit
yeah.
where
Metal part is,
the bar that comes down
yeah,
that secures the windshield. Because like anything, you put your hand up to protect
yeah,
yourself,
right.
like from a super kick or
Mm-hmm.
drop kick or whatever. And so that was his probably natural instinct was to
Do
throw his
that.
hand up, and his forearm caught that metal part of that
Yeah,
cart.
that probably hurt like hell.
It still looked like he hit his face.
He's-
Probably took the brunt of it, but no, it was his forearm.
but that still probably hurt
Yeah,
like hell.
I mean that cart's going 10 miles an hour,
Mhm.
5 miles an hour
Yeah.
down, dude, and it looked hideous. Best street fight I've ever seen,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been watching wrestling for a long time.
And then was it Jericho? Or no, not Jericho. Or I think he announced it. He announced the stadium street fight or whatever. So that's at not Revolution, Double or Nothing at the pay per view, or is that just on a regular episode?
I don't remember. We'll
Um,
find out when
yeah,
we either watch the pay per view or uh, or next week's Dynamite.
yeah. Um, You know, I have to say, I think I like all of the talent over there. Definitely have my favorites. But I don't think anybody that I've seen is like a bad worker. I mean, there's stuff that could be polished by some
Some
people.
of the newbies, well,
Yeah.
they need more screen time.
Right.
Because if you notice, the ones that are really good at it are already good at
Okay.
it,
Hmm.
and they're the ones that are on TV most of the time.
Right.
Oh, remember, speaking of Cody, we were talking about a little bit when he got his truck, his expensive truck.
Yeah, so that was okay. So like he interrupts. So at the top of Dynamite, Roberts is giving a
Cool
fire
promo.
promo on. He's just talking about Lance Archer and I
And
think
Brandy Rhodes.
and Brandy Rhodes, and then he's interrupted because by the revving of this truck, and it's like, what the hell is that? And they pan the camera over, and you can see
Cody behind
Cody's
the wheel of his
behind the
truck.
truck, and he's revving it up, and he's gonna break into the arena, and he goes, "Whoop," and then just like barely knocks over a thing and gets out and like walks to the arena. It's like
It's probably something
it's
that.
Tony Khan's truck, and he's like, please don't hurt it."
Well, I was thinking more like it's probably something they thought of maybe last minute.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things. Oh, here's an idea. Let me do this. Yeah, go ahead. Here, we'll put this stuff in here, and you'll crash through it. And they could have done it better. They could have planned it better.
Yeah.
They could have put water barrels. I don't know. They could have done something to make it look more dramatic. It was just like he went like 10 feet and then crashed into a table.
I don't even think he went that far. I think he just went and just the lightest like love tap ever. Because again, that truck is very expensive.
Well,
so
also because if he would have hit it hard,
yeah,
the airbags would have popped out, and that would have caused a problem.
probably.
So I don't. It was all right. It could have been better.
Right.
And that was the only
Gripe.
gripe that I have. Also, Britt Baker as a heel,
Mm-hmm.
love it.
Oh yeah, no,
I love it. She's been one of the wrestlers that sits ringside
yeah.
to watch matches, and she's been hitting people with her shoe.
Now that MJF is back, because they kind of stopped it, and I liked it where they were taking bets on the outside. Like that was because so again, and we compare it to WWE a lot because that's what we spent our time watching. We at least I haven't seen Ring of Honor. I've never seen a Ring of Honor. Wow, Ring of Honor match. I've never seen one. I've seen one New Japan match, which was AJ Styles versus Nakamura at Wrestle Kingdom 10. If you haven't seen that match, go
YouTube.
enjoy the 32 minutes that match is. And I've seen some Impact, but I wasn't really that interested into it. So the main comparison is WWE because that's what we've watched. But if we compare it to John Cena at one of the WrestleManias, I think it is Cena, he drove like his sports car in and like smashed through the glass to make an entrance.
Sort of, kind of remember that.
It's like, okay, that's cool. That makes sense.
Rusev on the tank.
Rusev on the tank. Well, because we're talking about Cody
Okay.
driving the car through. So
Well-
it's like the sports car through the glass. Cool.
Or Stone Cold truck when he hits the Titantron. 'cause
Yeah.
he doesn't have the clearance, which is something that they probably didn't know was going to happen.
Right. And so it's like things like that. That is cool. And so like you comparative Cody revving the truck and you're getting all amped and go, beep, beep. Like that was it. That's all that happened. So it wasn't very, very interesting to
Effective.
me. But I mean, it was still like the show again was.
But then when he marched down to the ring, and,
yeah,
like got on Lance Archer, that was cool.
mm-hmm.
The women's 4-way match,
right? Which
Sheeta,
Baker,
Statlander, and Penelope Ford, who I guess they're developing as a character, but I don't really care about her at all.
I mean, my 3 favorite wrestlers were already in that match. Yeah. Sheeta, Statlander. Wait, it was a 4-way. Who did we say? Sheeta,
Statlander. Baker.
Duh.
And
Ford.
And like I said, they're developing Ford as an on-screen wrestling character. I don't care for her at all. I don't think she's anything.
Mm-hmm. Maybe she will be.
Maybe, but I mean, I don't. They're going to give her a push if she wins the belt.
Oh, she's not going to win the belt
against Nyla Rose. Now, Nyla Rose was at the ringside watching the match too, and at one point she was just hanging her title over the railing, like, "Ha, it's still mine." But so many good spots in that. Baker doing her heel thing where she's trying to break teeth.
Yeah. She prevented Statlander from breaking up the pinfall by locking her. Oh, I forget what her move is called. Oh, lockjaw.
Lockjaw.
By locking her in lockjaw. Okay, but yeah, like that prevented. Like Baker knew she wasn't going to win, but to prevent Statlander from possibly winning or at least breaking up the pinfall, locked her in her submission so that rightfully Sheeta could pick up the victory.
And Sheeta is so great.
Yes.
And it's funny you have, okay, if you're going to go back in comparison, look at Asuka. Asuka was the best thing going.
Right, her undefeated streak.
Until they screwed her over by having Charlotte beat her. And then, since then, nothing. And now that she has the title again, maybe they'll, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But now that she has the title again, maybe she'll go back to her legendary status. And she was also more violent. Sheeta, her feud with Nyla is about to take off because remember, Nyla came back and she said, "Oh, I got a present for you." Bopped her with a kendo stick. So I'm ready for that. I'm ready for Sheeta and Nyla Rose.
I think Sheeta can 100% take Nyla Rose.
And there's the thing too. That's a believable scenario.
Yeah. Sheeta, we have watched Sheeta kick so much ass. And like, well.
And size-wise.
Yeah. She's, she's tall. She's strong. Because like Nyla Rose, her thing, and I wish they would kind of stop doing this to people because it's the same thing with on WWE. What's her name? I can see her. The other big girl. It's Nia Jax. Wow, that's very close. But their thing that they do is like they're big girls and like that's what makes them unstoppable. And I wish they would kind of stop that. And yeah,
stop what?
That their only character is that they're big and unstoppable. But with Nyla Rose, right?
Well, yeah, but size is intimidating,
Right. But I
and you
mean,
do have a weight advantage over everybody if you're a bigger person.
right. But if you that's going to be your only thing, that's
Well, it's
not
not.
it.
It's her wrestling ability.
Right. But that's what I'm saying is that's what I'm trying to get out is that Rose she adds stuff to her character that she gives herself. She hits Sheeta in the face with a kendo stick. Jax doesn't. Um, so I wish they would just write him as like a normal character. Let them just be a normal character versus because it's like what they do with not Kevin James, but Kevin
Owens.
Owens. Yeah, I don't know why I said Kevin James, but it's like all they talk about is wow, it's impressive for a big guy like that. Oh, it's like he's not even that big. Like leave him alone. Just write him as a normal character. And so like that I wish they would stop and just write them as normal characters. But again, like Sheeta is ranked number 1 for a reason. Um, I want to say Statlander is taller than Sheeta. Um, it,
Now and I don't remember.
it looks like she is, but I'm not 100% sure. But like her match with Statlander was crazy because Statlander is probably 5'10". Let's just assume for now Statlander is 5'10" and like Sheeta is 5'8", or 5'9". I don't know. I think she's just a little taller. And they talk about Statlander being really strong, and then so is Sheeta, and their fight together. Um, I wasn't sure who was going to win, and I was, of course, rooting for both of them, so I was happy either way. But then Sheeta beat her in a believable way. Mainly, she kneed her in the face so many times that it just stopped Statlander from getting up. So I think she can indeed take on Rose.
I think her knee's about as dangerous as
Nakamura,
Shinsuke Nakamura.
yeah.
I mean, she broke Britt Baker's nose.
Moose, yeah.
Also, I wanted to say just before we stop talking about wrestling is also they're adding they're looks like they're working on their women's division by bringing in on Dark or sometimes on Dynamite. They're bringing in new recruits, and they're kind of judging them on their TV appearance. If they look good, then they go backstage and they'll talk to them about it, and it's like some will get offered a contract or not. That was with
Big Swole.
Big Swole got that, but and then she's kind of coming now. See, they try to have her against Nyla. Come on,
Big Swole?
yeah,
Nah,
no. But no, there was a couple of new. There's Anna Jay, and there's a Portuguese girl. I can't remember what her name is,
me neither.
but it's another S name like Shira, Sheena, maybe. But they're like, okay, I know they mentioned it. Anna Jay wrestled on Dark against, I think it was Britt Baker. She got a contract out of that match, and boom, that's how come all of a sudden the next week she was there on Dynamite in the crowd because it's like they're giving a chance to these people. Pineapple Pete,
yeah, changed
Shug
his
D.
name, Shug D. And then I think it's funny that it just kind of like Jericho's on commentator and doing his thing, which is still great. Please continue to do that. I have no problems with Jericho as a commentator.
Who is that? Pineapple Pete?
Yeah. and then so Shug D is just like, okay,
I'll be Pineapple Pete if you want me to.
And then he comes out and he gets in. I don't know who the name of their ring announcer, unless it's just Brandy doing it.
It's either Brandy or Dasha Gonzalez.
Okay. Not the Dapper Yapper.
No, he's at home.
Justin Roberts. Anyways, she called him Shug D, and then she said, also known as Pineapple Pete. Yeah.
There's another guy called the Captain, because that's his gimmick. Is he's called himself the Captain because he's an ex-military guy. I can't remember the Captain. He's been showing up on Dark, but I mean they've got this impressive allotment of recruits that are showing up. If you watch Dynamite, you should also watch Dark, which are the Dark matches that they tape either before or after Dynamite, because you're going to see a lot of new people in there. Matter of fact, last week's Dark, I swear, had 15 matches, and that in 2 hours, and that is the most you're going to get out of any wrestling show. I mean, look at Raw. Raw is 3 hours, and you get what, 5 matches?
Yeah, something like that.
This was 2 hours, and I swear it was between 12 and 15 matches.
Mm.
They just said, here's this match, boom, here's this match, boom, here's this match. They had 2 women's matches, 2 or 3,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest were there was a lot of tag matches and singles. It was just awesome. That I'd like to see on a weekly basis. 15 matches.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of matches.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're getting here on time, so closing thoughts on any of them.
Okay.
Wrestling.
Let's go back to where we started. And closing thoughts on Joker.
It was good. Really, really good. I didn't have any problems with it except for his name being Arthur Fleck. Other than that,
Should they make a second one?
yeah, why not? Do a second one. Make him into the purple suit, or at least getting him close to the purple suit and everything. Uh, but yeah, I'm sure I would see. I would go see a second one.
Because I mean, we know he's in Arkham, and he already killed somebody in Arkham.
Yeah.
So there's that. And he was like, they were chasing him around. I was waiting for Benny Hill music, and they were chasing him through the hallway.
Right.
He's going this way, and here comes an orderly. Then he's going that way, and there's an orderly. All that was missing was a which would have been fine with me if they did it. I would have laughed.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to see a second one, but why not? If they go along getting him close to the Joker that we know,
yeah,
sure, why not? Double Tap. Are you ready for a third movie?
Yes,
as long as it doesn't take 10 years.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude! That means I was 13, almost 14 when the first movie came out. That's crazy. But anyways, yeah, I would watch a third one.
They left it open.
Yeah, why not? I would go see it. In a heartbeat. Like I said, I will watch Zombieland all the time.
Guardians 2, which you said you're not really impressed with the Guardians movie, but there is going to be the third one with Thor.
With Thor, which we will eventually come around to talk about. But I think the reason that Thor is going to be in Guardians 3 is because of Adam Warlock, and he's like the only one on the Guardians team that can actually take. Anyways, so
and then plus the new Thor,
yeah,
which is going to be the female Thor.
Yeah, it's I'm pretty sure they brought Natalie Portman back to play Jane.
Yeah.
So I will go watch Love and Thunder for sure. Well, I don't know if I can go and watch it.
Why didn't they? Remember the shot in Infinity War with all the female?
No, that was Endgame.
Or Endgame with all the female superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
Why wasn't Thor in there?
Because she wasn't wielding the hammer yet.
Yeah, but they've rushed to get everybody in there in that one scene. I mean, they've done it before.
Because he hasn't reforged Mjolnir yet. That's why.
I still think she could have been in there.
With what? As Natalie Portman, she has no power. She's not a trained assassin either. So, okay, we're getting over time.
She's going to be.
She's going to be. But and this is kind of where they wrote themselves in a corner in Ragnarok, is when Odin puts the enchantment on Mjolnir, it strips Thor of his power and places it into Mjolnir. So whoever lifts Mjolnir that is deemed worthy gains the powers of Thor. Mjolnir was destroyed by Hela in Ragnarok. He hasn't gotten it reforged, which now that he knows he can go and get it reforged because he restarted the forge on Nem. I'm going to say
Did it? But wasn't there a scene where?
No.
So what was Captain America swinging around?
Oh, they went back in time to get Mjolnir, and so he had it. But Natalie Portman wasn't there, or Jane wasn't present.
Yeah.
So it hadn't. So it just didn't happen. That's all.
Okay.
We'll get to that later.
And I guess we are done for this week. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to comment. If you comment below on this week's episode, which you can tell us anything you want of some information that we may have missed.
Or how wrong we are.
Actors' names. If you disagree with what we're saying, it doesn't matter. Be nice. Don't be a douche. Don't be a troll. But if you do that, we're going to mention your name on next week's episode. We did get one new subscriber.
Don't know who it is. But anyway.
Hidden?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you comment, we'll know who you are, and then we can give you a shout out next week.
All right. Well, with that, we look forward to howling with you again next week.